Two Broke Bettors, presented by Garrett Hollenbach and Dallas Walker.
Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 3 of Two Broke Bettors. I'm your host Garrett, and this is my co-host Dallas.
Hi.
On this week's episode, we are going to be talking about the NFL Divisional round of the playoffs coming up and college basketball Saturday slate. So let's hop right into the NFL Divisional round of the playoffs. And the first game to be played is going to be the Bengals and the Titans. I know me and Dallas are on the same page with this one. We both like the over. But he has a couple more picks for you. What do you like in this matchup?
I like a little parlay situation with Jamar Chase and Derrick Henry. I kind of think Derrick Henry is going to be an automatic touchdown. His odds aren't super ridiculous for a touchdown. The Titans have obviously relied on him all season. They won without him, but they were playing some pretty garbage teams as we just went over. And then the Bengals have a pretty average rushing defense. And then for Jamar Chase, he sold on me last week, but he is Burrow's favorite target. He did go over 100 yards, and I said that the Bengals were they were pretty much in control the whole game, so Burrow never really had to press or anything. I could see him maybe having to force a little bit more this game, and I like Jamar Chase in just about any one-on-one, especially with any corners for the Titans.
Right, definitely. And I think with this matchup where I think the Titans will win, and like you said, he might have to go a little bit out of control. It's gonna go down to the meme that Joe Burrow brings up all the time. Screw it. Jamar Chase is down there somewhere, and he's just going to start launching it to him.
Yeah.
So Dallas likes Jamar Chase touchdown and Derrick Henry touchdown. I like over 47. Some of my reasons for the over is both of these teams have been on fire lately on offense. I saw a stat where Burrow has thrown 13 straight touchdown passes without an interception, and Tannehill has thrown 7 touchdowns compared to 0 picks in the last 3 games. On top of that, both of their scoring has went up as of late. The Titans has went up to 27.3 points per game in the last 3 games, which would put them at the number 7 slot out of the whole NFL. The Bengals already hold the number 7 slot out of the whole NFL. So both of these teams have been scoring at will as of late. So that's why I really like the over here. And both teams are in the bottom 8 of passing defense. So I really like to see a shootout in this matchup. A lot of points. Bengals, Titans, over 47 points. I like the Titans here, but that's not going to be my pick. I'm going to go with over 47.
I think that's a smart one right there.
Yeah. Going on to the next one, we have Packers and 49ers. Same here, same total points, over 47. Both of these offenses are humming right now. Both top 15 in passing and rushing. So both offenses due for a big day in this wild matchup that I think is also going to go with a lot of points.
Yeah, I had the same thing. The over is hit in 4 of their 5 past 5 head-to-heads. It's like we were saying to each other earlier, both of their offenses are both of the defense's weaknesses. 49ers like to run the ball. Packers can't stop the run. Green Bay likes to throw the ball. 49ers have some pretty average DBs.
Definitely.
And then I also said if you're looking at like a really close game in the fourth quarter, which I could definitely see, look for Rodgers to just take over.
Yeah, definitely that. I like the Packers in this one, but I'm definitely taking the over here. The Packers in the last 7 games, the lowest they've scored is 24 points. And that is very far away from the rest of their total points. The second lowest is 30 points, which is a pretty high number by one team. And the last three, they're averaging 30.3 points per game, which would put them at second in NFL scoring offense. 49ers also love to put up points. So both teams in the top, I think it was top 13 or 14 teams in the NFL in scoring offense. So this is another one I see going over 47.
Yeah. I mean, both of these teams, just we kind of do like the spreads for both games, but there's just so much value on these total points because in the playoff games, you never know who's going to win. And for these teams that do have to cover for the plus side, they would have to probably put up a lot of points to cover. So I think the value on the totals is just way better than the value on the spreads.
Definitely. Moving on to the next one. I know we're not on the same side on this one. You got Bucks and Rams. You got Bucks and Rams. Spread is 2.5 points. I like the Bucks here. I think it's impossible to bet against Brady in the playoffs. I've said it all year. I think it's going to be Bucks and Chiefs in the playoffs. I still think that's what's going to happen. So I like the Bucks here by 2.5 or more. It's just impossible to bet against Brady. Last year, the Buccaneers lost to the Saints twice in the regular season and lost to who was the other team? Oh, the Chiefs in the regular season, and ended up finding ways to dominate both of those teams in the playoffs. This year, we might see that again. They're playing the Rams, who already beat them once. It just seems like the Buccaneers seem to find a way to improve a ton in the playoffs and play their best football whenever playoff time comes around.
I'm completely with your explanation of it. I hate betting against Brady too. Never is a winning formula for me. Part of me does feel like they didn't really catch lightning in a bottle, but last year the weapons they had were just it's a little bit different this year or this time around. The Bucks have not played a good defense since December 17th when they played the Saints and lost 9-0. I think the biggest issue for this game is going to come down to the lack of receivers that the Bucks have right now. Jalen Ramsey, one of the best man corners in the game. I could definitely see him shadowing Mike Evans all the time. That wouldn't be really a lockdown. But I could see it like just being an even matchup. Rams are also fifth against the run. So if the Bucks start struggling in the pass or whatever, the Rams do have a stout run defense. And then Stafford, he played well in his first playoff win. I know he's been struggling all season, but the Bucks have a weak secondary. And like you said, they won earlier this year. It's hard to beat a team twice, but I do like the Rams in this one.
Yeah, definitely. And that's one of the points I looked at was the Buccaneers receivers, just the lack of receivers right now. I'd say he's definitely clicking with his best friend, Rob Gronkowski, a lot better this season than he was last year.
Agreed.
So I think that helps to have that sort of safety valve where he can check down to him if he needs to. But I still like them in this matchup. I think Brady always finds a way. He always finds a way in the late game to pull it out. So that's why I like the Bucks here. I also noted, I think Tristan Wirfs is going to be a big time part of this matchup. If he plays, I really like the Bucks in this situation. If he doesn't, it gets a little more dicey because I think he's going to be blocking Aaron Donald a lot, which is a key contributor in this matchup. So I like Bucks minus 2.5. Dallas, on the other hand, Rams plus 2.5. Moving on to the next one, I think we're also both on opposite ends of this pick. We got Chiefs and Bills. I mean, I didn't really dive too deep into stats again with this one. I think it's sort of the same thing as Tom Brady with the Bucks. I think Chiefs, once it comes down to it at the end, it's going to be a close game. And I think Mahomes is the better quarterback. I think Mahomes is the better leader. I think Mahomes is more clutch. He's got more experience, which I think is huge in this matchup. I just think he makes the throws down the stretch to give them the win.
I like the Bills' money line in this situation. I think Josh Allen is playing very well. He ended the season strong after being kind of bumpy all year. I think the Bills are really tired of losing to the Chiefs, and I think they specifically built this team to beat the Chiefs. I really thought their game to get over was last game, and they destroyed the Pats. They already won this year at Kansas City. I will say it was when Kansas City was kind of on their stretch where they didn't know if they wanted to be a good team or not. But the Bills have the number one passing defense. They've still been playing well, even without Tre'Davious White, which is huge for them. While the Chiefs have the number 26 passing defense, which really favors the Bills because the Bills are a passing team. They are not a running team.
Right.
They're terrible at it. Their running backs are very average. We all know this. I think a big stat that I liked was the Chiefs are the 29th worst team in sacks per game. I think this is a really big stat because of how much the Bills rely on their rushing offense coming from Josh Allen. He thrives at running the ball, and not only that, if they're not pressuring him, he's going to be comfortable all game. They've got a really good O-line, and he just does well when he's comfortable. And I really think that'll be the hump that they need to get over.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was one of the stats that sort of made me question my Chiefs pick was the just the lack of defense on the Chiefs end. But also, I think the other thing I noticed that stuck out to me was that great Bills pass defense. I also take that with a grain of salt because, I mean, look at the Bills division. They played the Pats twice, not a very pass-heavy team this year.
True.
The Dolphins twice, the Jets twice. And then the teams they played outside of their division that were good were not real pass-heavy teams. Nobody really great. I mean, they played the Chiefs whenever the Chiefs were awful towards the beginning of the season. So I really think this matchup's going to be different. I think it's going to go in the Chiefs' direction this time. I just think Mahomes is too good, way too much experience to lose this one to Josh Allen, to the second best Josh Allen in the NFL.
Stop. I don't know, man. It just seems like one of these teams have to give, either the Bucks or the Chiefs.
Yeah, I will say.
On the other hand, though, it's like how the NBA was for Cleveland and Warriors. It kind of seems like it's almost trending that way, but I don't know.
I will say, as you were giving your explanation, it really made me stop and think, and it sort of felt like the Ohio State-Michigan series, where Ohio State had dominated the last few years, and then Michigan finally pulled one out.
Yeah.
So this might be their Cinderella story where they beat the Chiefs and go on. I just don't see that happening. I just think Mahomes with his Kermit the Frog voice is.
Were you saying Jackson Mahomes is going to play?
That's so. If we see Jackson Mahomes on the sideline making TikToks before the game, we will all abandon ship on the Chiefs -2 or what is it, -1.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all abandoning ship. We are not taking Chiefs -1.5 if Jackson Mahomes is on the sideline dancing.
Yeah, or if you see Mahomes' girlfriend or wife screaming at Bills fans, probably cussing them out, go ahead and hammer that Bills
pouring water
alternate
on
spread.
Pouring water on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you all see that happening, we're abandoning ship. No Chiefs. Bills alternate spread -30.5.
Yeah, at that point, GG's.
Going back to our first game, Bengals and Titans, I think we have to revisit the sort of personal bet for our viewers. If Jamar Chase scores the touchdown this week, I think we both have to do the gritty.
We will indeed do that.
Okay.
If he and Derrick Henry both hit, I don't know. We'll see what Derrick Henry does in the end zone. I'll copy that.
Yeah, we'll both copy what Derrick Henry does as well if both score a touchdown. Do we want to throw anybody else? Do we want to throw anybody else in there with the not with the parlay, but maybe if they do some crazy celebration? How about Tyreek Hill if he scores for the Chiefs? He always does some crazy celebrations.
Here's what it is.
All right, so there's our picks. Let's go real quick. Let's run through them. Bengals, Titans, over 47. Jamar Chase touchdown. Derrick Henry touchdown. Packers, 49ers, both went with over 47. Bucks and Rams, we both went opposites here. I took Bucks -2.5. Dallas took Rams +2.5. And then the final matchup, Chiefs and Bills, I took the Chiefs -1.5, and Dallas took the Bills money line. That's our divisional playoff round run through.